Robert McNamara served as the 8th Secretary of Defense from 1961 through 1968 for Presidents John F. Kennedy and Lyndon Johnson. While McNamara was the Secretary of Defense, he increased the United States' involvement in the Vietnam War. U.S. involvement grew larger after the Gulf of Tonkin incident in August of 1964.
I analyzed bombing operations and how to make them more efficient, i.e., not more efficient in the sense of killing more, but more efficient in weakening the adversary. On August 2nd, the destroyer Maddox reported it was attacked by a North Vietnamese patrol boat. It was an act of aggression against us. We were in international waters. I sent officials from the department out, and we recovered pieces of North Vietnamese shells that were clearly identified as North Vietnamese shells from the deck of the Maddox. So there was no question in my mind that it had occurred. But in any event, we didn't respond. Two days later, the Maddox and the Turner Joy II destroyers reported they were attacked.
Where are these torpedoes coming from? Well, we don't know. Presumably from these unidentified craft.
There were sonar soundings, torpedoes had been detected, other indications of attack from patrol boats. We spent about 10 hours that day trying to find out what in the hell had happened. At one point, the commander of the ship said, "We're not certain of the attack." Another point, they said, "Yes, we're absolutely positive." And then finally, late in the day, Admiral Sharp said, "Yes, we're certain it happened." So I reported this to Johnson, and as a result, there were bombing attacks on targets in North Vietnam.
In April 1964, William Westmoreland was made military commander of South Vietnam. While commanding his military, Westmoreland played part in the U.S. involvement in the number of U.S. soldiers fighting in the Vietnam War. Westmoreland believed that he could defeat the NLF with massive bomb attacks and defoliation campaigns. The Vietnamese suffered a great loss, killing about 2 million people. Westmoreland created an aggressive strategy called Search and Destroy. The strategy included finding and killing members of the NLF. Many Americans did not agree with President Lyndon Johnson's view on the Vietnam War. The Johnson administration viewed the war in a different light and saw it as a necessary involvement on our part. American citizens were kept in the dark about some of the actions made by the American military during the Vietnam War. A communication gap, along with a generation gap, also occurred. As the war escalated, demonstrations and other forms of protest became a commonplace on university campuses and in major cities of the U.S.